Janet Stevens, a member of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem, Oregon. Our minister, Reverend Rick Davis, isn't in the pulpit today, though a little birdie told me that it's his birthday. So we're wishing him a happy day. I get the honor of welcoming you today, and I was blessed to be able to be part of the group of people who worked to offer our services when we weren't allowed to have anybody in the building on Sunday mornings. But what I missed most was sharing time with all of you. I'm not sure I really know how to express how good it is to see people, to actually talk to real people. Over the last year and a half, sometimes I would sit here when we were recording services and I had a minute by myself, and I would just kind of close my eyes and imagine the whole congregation here with me, and I miss that so much. But today at 2 o'clock, we will be gathering via Zoom, the whole congregation, for our annual congregational meeting. We will be telling you how to register and attend later in the service if you haven't already signed up. As a board member, I can tell you that there have been some intense decisions and discussions over this last year. There's been some tough issues and some tough decisions to be made. And there are still some more that need to be made by the entire congregation. So I hope you will join us today. I hope that you will voice your thoughts and join the discussion. I hope you know that your thoughts and opinions matter. I look forward to a time when we can gather for social events, hug, and break bread together. But for now, just being together in our beautiful sanctuary and with those who are watching us online is enough. Welcome.
Our gathering hymn today is "I Brought My Spirit to the Sea." It's number 4 in the gray hymnal. Our safety protocols for singing are please leave your mask on and sing softly or hum. Now let us please rise in body or spirit. I brought my spirit to the sea. I stood upon the shore. I gazed upon infinity. I heard the waters roar. And then there came a sense of peace. Some whisper calmed my soul. Some ancient ministry of stars had made my spirit whole. I brought my spirit to the trees that loomed against the sky. I touched each wandering careless breeze to know if God was nigh. And then I felt an inner flame that fiercely burned my tears. Upright I rose from bended knee to meet the asking years. Slow down, you move too fast. You've got to make the morning last. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy. Hello, lamppost, what you knowin'? I've come to watch your flowers growin'. Ain't you got no rhymes for me? Doo-doo-doo-doo, feeling groovy. I got no deeds to do, no promises to keep. I'm dappled and drowsy and ready for sleep. Let the morning time drop all its petals on me. life, I love you, all is groovy.
Integrity is choosing courage over comfort. It's choosing what is right over what is fun, fast, or easy. It's choosing to practice your values rather than empty professing them. Brene Brown. Let us remember this as we say our affirmation. Love is our doctrine. Compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration. Build a community of caring fellowship, nurture the hope, and serve the needs of our world. Each week, we light 3 chalices. The first is for members here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem. The second chalice we light for our Unitarian friends and partner church in Chimenfalva, Transylvania, Romania. And the third we light for our children and youth in religious education and in the world at large. A reading from Lifting Our Voices, Readings in the Living Tradition. From our separate joys and struggles, we come here to find the peace of balance, to find the peace of restlessness. All are welcome. To follow, to lead, to teach, to learn, all are welcome. To join in the dance, to catch our breath, all are welcome. To give generously, to receive gratefully, all are welcome. Please join me in singing The Flame into Life.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
Although for the moment we are not doing Time for All Ages, the children are not far away. They're just down the hall a little bit, having religious education with Lily. She has a fun activity today planned, having to do with building a nest. I'll be curious what that means. When I think of nest, I think of comfort, security, a home. So it'll be fun to hear what that's been like. So until we see our children again, we have this slide to look at. Thank you.
There's a saying that you see around a lot. It says, be kind, for everyone is fighting a hard battle that you know nothing about. And you know, that's really true. We don't know what's going on in the people that we pass every day. I try to keep that in mind when people cut me off as I'm driving down the road, or push in front of me in the grocery store, or don't respond very nicely when I speak to them. Everyone's fighting a hard battle. There's so much that we don't know that's going on in the people around us. And people are struggling all the time. Compassion for those we don't even know is a priceless gift that we can give to each individual and to the world at large. Being kind and compassionate costs nothing. It's so simple. It's probably the easiest step that any of us can take toward building a better and more inclusive world. Being grateful came to my mind recently because I was given one of those electronic things that you talk to and call Alexa, and you ask it to do things like play a song or what the meaning of a weird word is, or turn on the lights or whatever. And I found that every time I asked Alexa to do something, and she did it, I said, thank you. Now, Alexa doesn't care. She's an electronic box. But it's a habit. It's something I was taught young, and I meant it. I meant thank you to Alexa. Being grateful should be a way of life, a habit. Recognizing and appreciating the small gifts and the large ones, whether it's in the form of family and friends, or pets and nature, or electronic gizmos. It's a reminder that it's a blessing to be alive, to be present, to have this opportunity to be part of the interconnected web of existence.
Thank you, Janet. I too thank my computer at times, especially the direction one, which leads me to the right place. I really appreciate that. So I've lit 2 extra candles for 2 joys and concerns that were mentioned in the online website, our online website, where you can share your joys and concerns. I'd like to read those to you. Harriet Trill and Glenn Kay will celebrate their 59th wedding anniversary on June 17th. So congratulations to them. Yay, yes. And then Carmen King appreciates this community where she can voice her frustration with the bureaucracy of institutions that cause real-life problems, like not getting the money in time to pay bills, get food, etc. Frustrating times, but she's appreciating our community support while she knows others are going through things like this. Thank you.
Our pastoral hymn today is Winds Be Still. It's number 83 in the gray hymnal. You may remain seated. Winds be still, storm clouds pass and silence come, peace grace this time with harmony. Fly, bird of hope, and shine, light of love, and in calm let all find tranquility. Bird, fly high, lift our gaze toward distant view, help us to sense life's mystery. Fly high and far, and lead us each to see how we move through the winds of eternity. Light shine in, illuminate our inward view, help us to see with clarity. Shine bright and true, so we may join our songs in new sounds that become full symphony.
Just like me. from Pembroke Children's book, Welcoming the Unwelcome, Wholehearted Living in a Broken-Hearted World. There's a practice I like to call Just Like Me. You go to a public place and sit there and look around. Traffic jams are very good for this. You zero in on one person and you say to yourself things such as, just like me, this person doesn't want to feel uncomfortable. Just like me, this person loses it sometimes. Just like me, this person doesn't want to be disliked. Just like me, this person wants to have friends and intimacy. We can't presume to know exactly what someone else is feeling and thinking, but still we do know a lot about each other. We know that people want to be cared about and don't want to be hated. We know that most of us are hard on ourselves, that we often get emotionally triggered, but that we want to be of some help in some way. We know, at the most basic level, every living being desires happiness and doesn't want to suffer.
You know, I've always been proud of the fact that I'm a lifelong Unitarian Universalist. However, I think I often tell people this, especially people who don't know me, as an explanation and justification of my actions, as much as a description of my spiritual journey. Most of my early childhood was spent in tiny, lay-led fellowships in small conservative towns. Sometimes there actually was Sunday school, and yes, we did call it that, with a teacher and curriculum. Sometimes we just sat in the service with the adults. In either case, we were always encouraged to take part of the conversation. We were raised to ask the hard questions, consider the possibility that long-held beliefs are not the only possible answers, and to remember that all facts are based on the best information that has been gathered to date, but they may be proven to be untrue or they may be changed when more information comes to light. Just think about poor Pluto. One day he's a planet, and the next day he gets demoted. This sparked some heated discussion in my family and friends. In my family, debate, discussion, and word wrangling is almost a game. It's our normal way of communicating. I remember hours of watching my father and grandmother bicker, that's their word, not mine, about just about everything. In fact, when my father died, my cousin Terry said that he probably met up with Grandma in heaven and they just took off wherever they left off. When my son-in-law Louis joined our family, I think it took some time to adjust to the way we interact with each other. He's an easygoing person. He has an opinion, but he's not pushy, and he listens very carefully to others. I imagine that's why he seemed sort of out of his element the first time I came to visit him after he and my daughter were married. My daughter and I chatted about everything, catching up after a long time apart, her difficult pregnancy, the birth of my tiny grandson Atticus, who was still under 5 pounds. Louis just watched in awe. One afternoon, when we were taking a drive around the area, he pointed out, in a joking manner, the constant banter, nitpicking, and dissection of each other's comments that Mallory and I engaged in. Neither of us even realized we were doing it. My family's always communicated like this. My daughter and I discuss everything. It doesn't matter whether it's the virtue of Costco versus Kirkland yogurt or the difference between solar and wind energy. We discuss, argue, pick apart, and counter each other for hours. The devil's advocate is present in every conversation. Now, many of you have been in meetings with me and know that I tend to ask a lot of questions, argue points, point out possible alternatives, and possible flaws in logic. It's not unusual for me to catch the end of an eye roll, hear a suppressed sigh, or see the tension in shoulders when I bring up questions and concerns. I work for the state of Oregon in a department that has been run in a good old boy network form for well over 100 years, and mostly operates in rural conservative areas of the state. So I expect pushback when I'm at work. But it still surprises me that I get that reaction here at UUCS. I remember once visiting a UUCS group that I was considering becoming a part of, and during the business meeting, I brought up some questions about the way that the processes were taken care of, the decisions were made. This meeting was filled with long-time older members who were used to doing things the way they'd always done them. I could see my points were unexpected, and from some, I didn't feel that they were welcome. Another time, a member actually took me aside during a meeting and suggested that I stop talking and let others make the decisions. Now, if you know me at all, you know that I understood their concerns, and I did take their comments into consideration, but it didn't stop me from speaking out. As a Unitarian Universalist, we each find our own spiritual path. We encourage and support each other as we continue to seek answers and ask questions throughout our life journey. So why is it that sometimes we feel like we should avoid making waves? To question, doubt, be skeptical is to seek truth and understanding. Are these not the essential steps to learning and growing in body, mind, and spirit? Now, I've taken the Myers-Briggs and several other personality tests many times, and each time the results confirm that I am an introvert. Knowing this, you might think that I would stay silent, sit back, and let others take the lead. I can't do that because silence is often seen as approval. It may seem like by saying nothing, involvement in a conflict can be avoided. Actually, sometimes the truth is that it's the opposite. During disagreements and discussions and arguments, people notice who speaks up and who doesn't. By saying nothing, it may seem as if one doesn't even care about what's being discussed. If the problem should persist or become more volatile, it may seem as though those who stay silent are responsible in part for the outcome since they didn't speak up in opposition. There can be an eroding of trust or resentment for lack of participation. Just looking back over the 4 years of mayhem we endured under the worst executive team this nation has ever seen should be enough to show us how dangerous it can be to go along to get along. By trying to avoid drawing attention to themselves or offending those whose support they felt they needed, many of the more moderate members of the right have found themselves colored with the same crayon, the same permanent marker as the more extreme members of their party, and are forever mired in the muck that was created. To this day, it's my belief that it is the unwillingness to speak up and risk the possibility of losing support, respect, and money that keeps many conservatives from doing what they know to be right. The greater good should be the priority. All 7 of our principles speak to this, and we boldly express it in our affirmation every week. These statements encourage active participation, action, and being engaged with the community and the world at large. Yet when faced with decisions, discussions, and options, we sometimes stay silent, thus possibly unknowingly harming the very people or cause we want to promote. We find ourselves drawn to lofty ideas and wonderful principles, but we forget to delve into the possible long-time consequences of our proposed actions, or think about how those actions will affect other people or projects. We don't ask if there are other solutions which may benefit more people, save money, lead to a better outcome, or make the journey easier. And thus we may not have the information we needed to make the best choice. If we look at all the alternatives, we are better able to choose the best solution. Worst case scenario, when the concern is voiced, there will be a need for justification and discussion with those who see a different perspective. For me, that would be fun. Not everybody thinks so. Best case, you will be looked at as a leader and thanked for avoiding possible future problems. Speaking up is a form of honesty. By asking questions, you let others know that that you have a stake in the outcome, that you care about what is happening. Involvement builds trust and shows willingness to be open and truthful in your interactions. It's also possible that you have information no one else in the discussion is aware of, or a unique perspective. I recently saw this Facebook post from somebody who was very angry because they saw a log truck carrying what looked to be a section of old-growth timber. They took a picture and posted it and stated what they assumed to be as fact. The log in the photo was so large that it filled the entire bed on the truck, so no doubt was a very old tree. Now, the situation could be exactly what they thought. Somebody was cutting old-growth timber. But there are other explanations. I work for the Oregon Department of Forestry. I'm not a forester, but I did work on several of the devastating fires of 2020. I also work on the task forces and with the staff who are still trying to mitigate the repercussions of that unprecedented fire season. I know that those fires left many forests full of dangerous, half-burned trees. When needed, these are felled or collected in what's called salvage logging. This is a needed process which removes dead and dying trees to prevent them from causing more harm when they fall or decay, to make room for replanting the forest, and to make use of the lumber before it begins to rot. It's done with strict guidelines, requires that many trees, stumps, and much debris is left for the benefit of the forest and its inhabitants, and that a permit be obtained before any tree removal is done. Sometimes a very large old tree is only partially burned. A 70-foot tall Doug fir may be dead or dying, yet a 30-foot section is salvageable, and it may end up on a log truck traveling down the freeway. By sharing this information, I was able to provide a different perspective and perhaps different explanation for what appeared to be a destructive action. When debating whether or not you need to speak up, be aware that it is likely you are not alone in your thinking. It's entirely possible that your observations and concerns are shared by others who are also unwilling to speak. By speaking your mind, you encourage others to voice their opinions as well. If everyone holds back, valuable information may be lost, and consequences are sure to happen. At UUCS, most of us believe strongly that there's very little that cannot be openly discussed. Although we've seen some concerning move away from this way of thinking in the UUA of late, Reverend Rick and our Committee on the Ministry have done us proud by voicing their opposition to the notion of silencing those whose opinions differ from the majority. As UUs, we should prefer to celebrate somebody saying something irrelevant or unimportant or even offensive, rather than lose ground or have massive failure due to group silence. I'm wondering if anyone's seen the movie 12 Angry Men. It's based on a play by Reginald Rose, and the original movie was made in black and white in 1957 and boasts a cast of Hollywood's who's who of the time. It was remade in 1997, and they did a pretty good job, but I'd encourage you to watch the original. Short synopsis. A jury of 12 men, and yes, they're all men because that's the way it was done at the time, deliberate a murder case where an inner-city minority youth is accused of killing his father. As we begin, there's a strong impression that this is an open and shut case. There's been testimony by neighbors and experts, and the murder weapon has been produced and verified, and then the jury retires to deliberate. And when the first vote is taken, 11 of the jurors vote to convict. But juror number 8, Henry Fonda, says essentially, not so fast. It does look as if he may be guilty. But this kid deserves us to take the time to review everything we've seen and heard and consider the possibility that he didn't commit the crime. His fellow jurors are not happy with this delay. It's been a long, hot day. They're tired. They want to return to their regular jobs and activities. Some of the men have plans for the evening. Some have prejudices that they're having a hard time letting go of. Some are bullies, and some are easily influenced. But juror number 8 insists on further discussion. He points out a possible flaw or two in the testimony. And little by little, others bring up questions, and a serious debate takes place as the men delve into the details of each piece of testimony, each exhibit, and take a good look at the accused himself. Spoiler alert, the discussion sparked by juror number 8, and that follows, eventually leads all 12 jurors to see that there is reasonable doubt as to the guilt of the defendant. Had this one brave juror not spoken up, had he acquiesced to peer pressure and taken the easiest route, a young man might have been wrongly convicted of a crime he didn't commit. How many times have each of us been one of those 11 who just went along, didn't ask questions, or assumed that first appearances were correct? Think about the endless meetings, trainings, and retreats we sit through, hoping against all hope that nobody responds when the leader or moderator says, "Any questions?" Maybe we don't speak up because we're afraid of hurting another person, looking mean or foolish, or opening a can of worms that will make a mess. We have all had times when we thought, well, that isn't really the best way to go about it, but I just want to get on with this project. Or, I don't think that's the fairest way to handle it, but I really want this meeting to come to an end. We've all chosen to avoid conflict when it seemed easier than the risky practice of asking hard questions. I said at the beginning of this talk that debating was like a game to me. This practice is often referred to as playing the devil's advocate. When used correctly, the devil's advocate strategy serves to further conversation. True devil's advocacy means to take the opposing viewpoint or raise an objection merely for the sake of argument. One may or may not agree with the point being made. However, bringing up the opposing view often clarifies the argument in favor, offers new insights and possible drawbacks, and brings them into the open, and opens the door for suggestions and alternatives. Now, it does take skill to play this game, and when played with those unfamiliar with the process, it may require an explanation and gentle application. As a UU child, I found the technique especially useful when discussing spirituality with my more traditionally spiritual friends. Even young children are usually not too receptive to having their long-held beliefs and faith questioned. Bringing up the possibility of alternative views is often a good way to open doors to new ideas without seeming to undermine the beliefs of others. It is tempting to sit back and say nothing sometimes, especially when hard questions or good works are being discussed. But what it really comes down to is, although it seems like staying silent is the simpler choice and the easier choice, really, each and every one of us needs to speak up. As I said, I'm proud to have been raised a UU. I'm glad that I still call some of the kids I went to Sunday school with friends. Facebook friends, but still friends. I still remember some of the lessons my UU Sunday school teacher, Mrs. Missel, taught me about standing up for what I believe in. And I remember a poem that I learned in UU religious education by Martin Niemöller. First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Thank you. Let's take a moment to relax and breathe. Outside, the cars are rushing by on Cordon Road, and we'll all rejoin our busy lives shortly. But for now, just take a few minutes together and share a quiet moment and enjoy Dr. Kitt's music.
The plate recipient for June is the Nellie Thompson Dorothy Patch Scholarship Fund. This fund is a nonprofit organization based in Salem that provides scholarships to ethnic minority students pursuing a college or technical degree. They particularly focus on students who have shown promise through their effort to overcome adversity in their lives. On their website, a past scholarship recipient states, "Thompson Patch helped me a lot with my tuition and gave me a sense of encouragement morally. Like someone was rooting for me, even if I feel I didn't have any support." Please donate to the Share the Plate recipient for the month of June, in addition to our regular support of the Marion Polk Food Share. You can do so by either visiting the website to donate, or if you're here and you'd like to leave offerings as you leave, please do so in the baskets by the door. Thank you for maintaining the community of UUCS and the greater community of Salem.
When you're weary small. When tears are in your eyes, I'll dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get tough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I'll comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your
Thank you, Laura and Dr. Kit. Isn't it wonderful that we have such talent right here in our own members? It's very sweet. As Janice lights the social justice candle from our chalice, it is a symbolic reminder of the light and justice we carry out into the world through our actions. going to watch her take care of the fire first before I continue. Although I know she has worked for the fire department, apparently I'm still a little cautious. Thank you. As we extinguish the chalice, let us remember these words from the living tradition written by David Blanchard. Do more than simply keep the promises made in your vow. Do something more. Keep promising. As time passes, keep promising new things, deeper things, vaster things, yet unimagined things. Promises that will be needed to fill the expanses of time and love. Keep promising. Now, we normally have a Zoom fellowship gathering, and it's been changed to 2 p.m., as I hope you all know. But today, because of the annual meeting, there's not going to be one. So be sure and attend next week at 2 o'clock when there will be. Go ahead and just do what you've been doing. Go ahead and keep registering to come to these services. I will let you in a little secret, which I think has been snuck out already. We are going to go to one service starting in July, but you'll still need to register, so keep doing that. Thank you very much. And there is an annual business meeting today, as Janet said, at 2 o'clock, 2 to 4 via Zoom. If you've not registered, that's certainly okay. Just go to our website, and there's a link where you can register and to get then the link to the Zoom meeting. And besides that, speaking of summer services starting July and August, the membership team is still looking for hosts. Martha and Greg Gray can attest to the enjoyment of coming and helping out. So if you would like to do that, please contact membership and Anna Talley. And then also, if you have any leftover bottles or cans that you don't want to go take to recycling, feel free to bring them here because they are being collected for the women's retreat, a women's group and women's retreat that is hopefully happening in 2022. Is this happening in 2022, Janet? Somebody asked me the other day. God, please, she says, and that's from a UU. So hopefully this will happen. I'm counting it will happen. Janet and I were commenting before the service that the last time she and I were here together, we closed for 14 months. So we're hoping that's not the case this time. Thank you.
Our closing hymn today is This Little Light of Mine. It's number 118 in the gray hymnal. I realize it's going to be difficult to sing this particular hymn softly, but maybe if you want to dance a little bit, you can burn off some energy that way as well. Please rise and embody your spirit. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Please reach out with your arms and hearts to your neighbors and friends as we say our closing words. May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours now and in all the days to come.